This segment is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke. Know your rights.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And we're always glad to have back with us on the program, Chief of Police Travis Terrio. Thanks for joining us.
Afternoon, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, Travis, it's been an interesting summer, right? Had a lot going on. Boy, your team's been awfully busy. Yeah, taking care of stuff and keeping people safe.
We really had a variety of things going on this summer, from shootings to a lot of narcotics arrests,
right?
Property crime arrests. Not enough you can say about the ladies and men of the police department. They've really been working hard and doing a great job, and very happy and proud of the work that they've been doing for our community. I got you. Another one of the examples, we had some recent property damage, huh? You want to tell us a little bit about? So it looks like we had several residential burglaries, and our investigators got out there and they did some heck of a job putting this whole thing together. Yeah. And they executed a search warrant, and they arrested Michelle Miller, Carolyn Avenue, and Shasta Britton, also of Melrose Avenue. Right. Took them both into custody, arrested them for related charges stemming from some burglaries. Right. And that then led to the arrest of a Mr. Richard Oob, also on Melrose Avenue, and they got him in custody of all his stolen property that came back linked to some residential burglaries, some of which the burglaries happened while the victim was actually hospitalized, receiving treatment for different things. Wow. So it's nice whenever you can bring resolution to these families that are away and they can't defend their property. And it's one example that the police department's going to do everything that they can to try and help everybody out in the community. Right. And listen, especially when people are at this point where they're kind of at the mercy of their health, right? And so it's these burglaries that sometimes take place because people, those who are going to burglarize somebody else are going to look for their opportunities, and they found some opportunities. I'm so very glad that we were able to get them back some of their personal items. Look, whenever your home's burglarized, your privacy is violated. And it's hard for you to feel secure in your home again. Yeah. So it's nice to give that family the closure and know that their incidents are taken serious, and we're doing everything that we can. Yeah. And there's that emotional issue with feeling like you've been truly that emotional violation. That's right. And look, in today's day and age, nothing's cheap. Everybody works very hard for what they have. Right. And whenever you work so hard for property, and look, granted, property can be replaced, a life can't, but still, you work very hard for what you have, and you expect people to respect your privacy and leave your things alone. Yeah, I've had my in-laws in where they live, a similar situation. They're out of town with their children very often, and somebody took advantage of that. And I remember just the feelings that they had about that. So you're exactly right. Getting them their stuff back sometimes is just a small piece of them feeling a little bit better about that. But lots of things were stolen here, we can see in the pictures. That's right. And look, and especially with hurricane season, right around the corner, and God forbid we have something where somebody has to evacuate, we can do everything we can to protect the property in Terrebonne Parish. Right. And I can speak on behalf of the police department and the sheriff's department. I promise you, if something ever comes up where we do have to evacuate, property crimes are taken serious. Yes. Yes. And we want everybody to know that we're going to do everything we can to help them. And listen, as somebody who's got to kind of stay in the area to kind of help out here and to help out with the work that I do, I know the presence that HPD and Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office has in our area during those times. We see it. And so we know we're right at the start of hurricane season. We know that we're kind of middle of hurricane season, but we know what's going on, and we're aware of that. I love the fact that your team is prepared for that. Right. And we have a plan that'll immediately go into effect, in the event something ever happens and people have to leave their home. But look, if your properties, you're not going to be home, reach out to the police department, let us know. Yeah. Communicate that. Communicate it. You can go online and request a patrol request on the Houma Police Department's Facebook page. Website. I'm sorry. Right. And we'll do the best we can to make extra patrols and keep an eye on things while your property's defenseless.
Yeah. And again, that's just one of those things that's comforting, right? If you or I are leaving and we're out of town for whatever reason, and sometimes our work, and heaven forbid we take a vacation, but if we do that, it feels really good to know that you've got a team like yours that's going to check on our property and and that's just something you guys do. Y'all are out protecting people and places and taking care of those kinds of things.
And look, it's also important to have a good relationship with your neighbors, and it's great if everybody can. Not everybody has neighbors that they can trust,
right?
But it sure is convenient whenever you're close to your neighbors,
right?
And they keep an eye on your property as well.
Yeah, I got to tell you, just the history that we've had. Thank God that the mayor in our area lives right next door to me, and I know he's going to watch over my property. But quite frankly, we can call, and we knew when they were out of town. They know when we're out of town, and it's a really valid point. But it's that next layer of concern and layer of help, knowing that you guys can do patrols and y'all do that, and we can limit these kinds of situations where people are preying on your stuff.
That's correct.
Yeah. Looking forward to the start of the new school season.
Yep, we're going to have some things in place when school starts. We'll have some extra units out, keeping an eye on the school zones, making sure the traffic stays slow. But I think everybody needs to remember, most precious thing we have is our children, and everybody needs to be a little cautious whenever the school starts this year. Absolutely. We're going to look forward to that. Chief, we thank you for your time as always. Thanks for spending a little bit of it with us. Thank you. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. We have a whole lot more right here on Bayou Time.
This segment was brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke. Know your rights.